Hey, there he is. Thank you, sir.
Oh, nice.
Happy birthday, Charlie. It's not even your birthday,
Oh
but happy
man.
birthday.
Oh, look at
Dane went
that.
to great lengths, so
Come
I
on,
got to
man.
thank Dane a
Charlie,
lot for
Come
doing
on,
this.
man.
Charlie, it's your birthday?
No, it's
No.
not. But it was
Nah,
just,
hey, I feel like it again, man. I appreciate that, man. How you been, man?
Charlie he has this face that stays 20.
Man, I tell you what, I
body as well,
appreciate
man.
that,
He's out there working with those kids every day.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, man.
the voice sounds hoarse, Charlie. It sounds a little crusty this
Hey,
morning.
hey, come on,
You're
man.
yelling too
Listen,
much.
hey, well, who would I get it from?
That's a good point.
Dane, first of all, thank you for taking time to join us. I know mornings are very busy for you, and you guys are just like we were talking to Don Fisher a minute ago. Season's only a week away, so you guys are out and busy this weekend. I know you guys had the secret scrimmage, which sounds like it went very well down in Louisville against Belmont. Things seem to be going very positively, man.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on, Jim, and good to see you too. I tell you what, Coach Woodson, and I give the credit to him because he's put the whole group together and willing to take this shot. For someone that's he's done so many things that he just doesn't talk about. I'm talking about Coach
Right.
Woodson. He just doesn't self-promote. He talks in third person, but he's not self-promoting. He's done so many things, but all those things he's able to translate to our players because he seems to be just a big believer in life skills. It's life skills, and the life skills, correlate to success on the court, and also obviously life skills are in order to, they're being reinforced to help our players off the court. But it all works hand in hand, and that's
Nice.
I know that's a little deep, but Charlie, I know you can appreciate it because you're working
Come on, man.
with young people every day.
I was going to say, that's right up Charlie's alley, man. That sounds
man.
exactly
I mean,
like what Charlie does.
you're speaking. You're not only speaking language, Dan, but that's what it's about. And I think as a former player, there's a compassion and a empathetic spirit that it feels like even the way you talk about him, I could tell how he's affected you. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and you've been around some great coaches. I mean, and having an opportunity, I think to me, you're showing humility and where you were as a coach, as an assistant at Michigan State to do the things you're doing, man. So, I mean, I'm excited about the future, not necessarily the wins and losses, but the impact, like we know about the impact moving forward, still got to win, play,
Yeah.
but I hear it in your voice, man. I appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, Charlie. We have a chance, as former players at Indiana, we've got all that. But what we really have a chance to do is to set this program up for the next 50 years.
Yes, sir.
So when Charlie's face decides to develop a wrinkle, you can talk to your grandkids about it. But that, to me, I think that's where we have to reinstill the values that drew guys like Charlie Miller, Dane Fife from out of state, but obviously the Indiana kids.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to get to reinstill those values that draw families in.
That's right.
That draw people that understand, the values that essentially young people understand the values that they want to associate with. And that's where I was drawn in. And Charlie, I don't want to speak for you, but I felt like that was something that drew you in besides the aura of Indiana basketball.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was the values that I didn't understand. Right. I didn't understand.
Right.
Didn't understand.
Right.
But then at the same time, coming from Miami, I saw it as a way out. Not saying it was too bad, but it was something in me. Even when I visit, and we're going to talk about this, hopefully, even when I visited, your family and the relationship that my high school coach had with your dad, it was, man, I want to do something different. I want to go somewhere where it's about family or orientation. It was about development.
Yeah.
And it was a way out, and it was like a fish out of water, pun intended, because it's like, why are you going so far up? Because I want to see something different in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Well,
hard to get
so,
somebody
right
from
on.
South Miami.
Right.
I'm able to, fortunate to talk to some of the recruits sometimes and their families. That's already coming across. That is
Yeah.
something that has come across in abundance here of late, whomever we're talking to. And it's refreshing to see that, but it's also that they know it's more about basketball, but it's not just basketball here. It's a basketball state. It's in Indiana. So when you add that other element to it, that just magnifies that tenfold.
You know, Jim, that's a really good point too. Right out of the gate, we were jumping on Zooms with recruits and their families, and we had this 45 to an hour presentation, and 99% of it was fluff. But then Coach Woodson just said, "Okay, now, Mom, Dad," and he was talking to Tamar Bates, and the way he spoke to the parents and their son. I'm just like, I'm listening, and we're on a Zoom, and I'm just like, bam, we got the kid. How could he say no? And it wasn't because he was selling. He just said, Mom, Dad, and he has no idea how to lie and politic. He's in the NBA. You can't with players.
That's right.
And he'll make mistakes. Like, nope, Coach, we can't do that. Well, what? Nope, Coach, can't do that. Nope, Coach, can't say dorms. Dorms are bad. We need luxury condos. Just say apartments. But he just spoke to the family in a way.
Jackson Heights.
Yeah. Varsity Bills. And I just,
Exactly.
it took 10 seconds. Like, we got him. He says, Mom, Dad, your son sitting right there. I got him. We will take what you've done and built and just help him all the way to your goals and your dreams and how you want to envision raising a son. And it just like, it was so real, and you know it because it's
every bit as genuine. It comes across as 1,000%.
He doesn't know how to lie. He doesn't know the ins and outs of how to duck and dodge and weave and politic in a day and age where you can lie and it's absolutely okay. It's families are still looking, kids are still looking for that too, I think.
Awesome. And all the while building a good program back here at Indiana, and which looks like they're already on the way to doing that. The recruiting, man, it's changed so much now with the transfer portal, Dane, and all of that stuff. How has that changed for you guys? But it seems like Indiana is still recruiting the old-fashioned way. They're recruiting players. They're recruiting for the future, not looking to the transfer portal for that. Actually trying to develop their own players is what it seems from the outside.
Well, and it is a delicate balance because, by and large, somebody's transferring for reasons that generally aren't good. No, that's not all of them. But in addition, we've got to be able to gauge the high school players that we recruit. When are they gonna, Coach Woodson was laughing at me the other day because I was talking about a high school kid. I said, he's a pro. He's like, huh? And he literally thought I was saying he's a pro right now because he's green at all this. And so we have to be able to kind of take wild guesses and project when they're actually going to become pros if they do. And that speaks to kids leaving early and where are we at? How many scholarships? And so the transfer portal, I think the negatives are still plentiful. I do think a positive, though, is, well, we're not out of the game yet. There's still the transfer portal. We can go out and get another big, or we can get another guard that can provide something for our program.
How much fun are you having personally? I mean, this has got to be a blast for you. I mean, I know it's a lot of hard work. Don't get me wrong.
Thanks, Jim.
A ton of hard work.
It's grueling.
It is.
It's grueling.
It actually, hey, being a coach of any sport is a hard work. There's no doubt. But, but you have to. But it's when you love it. It's. I guess it certainly relieves a lot of the hard work. I guess you could say.
Well, the the issues still remain. Yes, I love Indiana basketball. I love being here. I'm honored to be working for Coach Woodson. I'm honored to be back where, these were my dreams, and I'm back, and I'm excited. But family is still the pull, So love it, yeah, to an extent,
That's
and,
right.
and the family, my family it's still an everyday pull every day at 6:30, 7:00, 8:00. I have to be present with my kids. My
Right.
two beautiful daughters, and
How old are they? Like 8 or 9 or something?
9 and 11. No,
9
8
11.
and 11.
9 and 11.
We went trick or treating with Dr. Hornsby
I
last night.
was just going to
Nice.
ask, did you dress
Nice.
up?
I did. I wore a mask for a second. I started to get more attention from people because apparently my looks were more appealing, so I took the mask off.
Nice.
It was a
Charlie
little
went as
distracting.
Charlie
Huh?
went as a coach.
What's that?
Oh yeah. It was lame.
Charlie
I said,
he went as a coach. He really
I went as
reached
a
out.
coach.
Coach Miller.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, Coach Miller. It was just lame. Hey, how has coming back been for you? Now in the locker room with a different shirt on. Now in the other locker room.
Yeah,
Not the
yeah,
players'
yeah.
locker
Not
room.
the.
You know I'm going. How has that been for you, man?
Well, the speaking with conviction is really easy.
Yeah, right.
Not having
Right.
to fake, and I didn't fake anywhere I've been, but
Right.
I don't know. There's a different feeling internally when I
Right.
speak.
Right.
And I don't speak with reckless abandon generally, but it just comes out passionate no matter what. And I sometimes, man, that sounded really good. I wonder if Trace heard that the way I think he should.
The way he came off.
But it still really comes down to, because Charlie, you understand this, Jim, maybe with your softball team back in '79, co-ed.
Not quite that old, but
It
not
still
too far
comes
off.
down to, Charlie, and you're working heavy with this right now, is nothing matters when you're dealing with young people. Nothing
That's right.
really matters except their current problems, each individual's current problems, which may not even
That's
be
right.
about basketball.
You're right.
Basketball is
You're right.
usually the center of it, unfortunately, but we're dealing with young people that, you know what, they may say winning a championship's important, the most important thing to them here, but
Right.
they got right now, the most important thing to them is their girlfriend just dumped them, or
that.
they didn't get enough shots in the game last night. And so we've got to be cognizant of that at all times. And I know you're working hard with that, Charlie. And
well, now the way you speak about it, I don't know if we could speak about it that easy 15, 20 years ago. You had those off-court issues. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong. Everything is great, right? But I think but the openness now, but what you just spoke to was the relationship you guys have. Because because I think for me, we had the head games with coaches.
Yeah.
Especially to me with the coach Knight. I think he was the head master.
The pull and the pushing, and the prod. Yeah.
It was the head game. But see, I think now with relationships and how you spoke family first, it's now they're letting you in your heart. Now you get to know these guys.
Yes.
Right. You're getting to know, and it sounds like you know them. So it's okay to get at somebody in a positive way because you know what's going on with them. So they're going to let you. What is it a lie about? There's nothing to lie about.
That's exactly right. It's when you have
what's going on with me. Yes.
When you have
There's
that
nothing
kind
to
of
lie about,
conviction,
man.
it's really easy in terms of, okay, I'm going to go at this kid, and you said in a positive way. When you go at them, they generally don't hear it.
Don't hear it exactly.
But the positive, there's the positive in the long run. I think too, these kids, and Charlie, I remember this. Think about this. The one game I didn't play in was at Purdue my freshman year. And Charlie, my dad, he's similar to Knight in a way that he demands.
Right.
And he was so mad. You got to transfer. You got to get out of there. And I said, hang on, Dad. I've been practicing terrible, man. come to practice. Even my own dad that was a college coach, high school,
Right.
dealt with parents
Right.
a million times. And so my point is that there's so many people in these kids' heads. That's normal, and it's always been that way. But now you have the social media where one dweeb, even from maybe another school, says, man, they're not using Charlie Miller right. Charlie Miller needs more shots. Think about that, how it impacts a kid. And if the kid chooses to believe it instead of, understanding what's going on, the truth, then that's like a sliver of trust you lose a little sliver of trust between coach and player, like the coaches and the players. Like, maybe they're not getting me enough shots, because Jerry from Fort Wayne said so.
Right. Yeah, you said it. Yeah, you said it. And I think it's, you got the social media element. And also I think you have, even going into the recruiting process, it like what you said earlier about this particular kid, he's a pro. You're already hearing that. Yeah. Now you have so many other avenues that I can become a pro. I can go overseas and not look frowned upon. I can play in the G League. I can put my name in overtime elite. I have all these avenues, that to me now becomes really instead of saying the elite's path of resistance, like the most. And I can't do wrong, but like I love what you said. Come watch me practice, man. I'm not practicing well. Yeah. I don't deserve this playing time. Come watch film. Don't just right. And that's just the honesty behind it all. Yeah. Right. And I so appreciate that, man. That's awesome.
That sounds profound, but I just couldn't believe really what it was is a defense mechanism. I didn't like seeing my parents so upset.
Right. Understood.
But I didn't want them to. I was trying to act. I really didn't want. I didn't want to. I was scared I was nervous to go in. That game was intense, and at Purdue, Brian Cardin, it was so intense, and I wanted to go in for ego, and just hope and pray something good happens. But I was scared to death.
So Jim,
you always made good things happen. Go ahead, Charlie.
This is what I love about Dane. See, coaches that are vulnerable like this. And man, I want to just vulnerable coaches like this.
Thank you.
How can a player not tell you, man, coach, I'm scared too, man. Coach, can you help me with that? Coach, man, I'm scared, coach. What do I now? We're talking real-time development. Yeah. We're not talking that passe real-time development. That vulnerability right there is making Dane who he is, who he's learning from now, and Coach Woodson ways. That's why I said there's a humility that has to come in from a Dane's perspective. To me, Dane's a head coach. Man, I don't want to talk to your head. He's a head coach at Division I level, whatever he wants to do. But to take this stance and be this open, it's only but authenticity going on in that locker room. It's only let's keep it real in that locker room. It's only I don't have to be positive. I'm gonna tell you like it is, and you're gonna take it, and you're gonna get better from it. Yeah, man, I love that. That's who I known Dane to be. Yeah, and just understanding his family's dynamic. I was very fortunate. I think I was a junior in high school, Dane. Want to be a senior? What grade you in? 7th, 8th grade, or
I think 6th, 7th grade.
6th grade. Here it is. This, my coach, high school coach, went to school with Dane's dad. We're from Miami, Florida, so I'm at University of Michigan's camp. I'm over in Ann Arbor learning about pop for the first time in sacks. What the hell is a sack? What's a sack? Like a brown bag? Yeah. I ordered a soda for one of the dorms. I got a freaking float. I got a root ball. What the hell is this? I want a pop. The hell is this? So all of a sudden, Coach Funk, my high school coach, Charlie Funk, says, hey, you're going to go to ABCD camp. And oh, by the way, you're going to stay the night with the Fifes. I'm like, okay, all right. Just got me going anywhere, man. What the hell are you doing, coach? So I roll up. We go scrimmage one day. We go to the high school. I'm not sure if you remember this.
Oh, Charlie, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. We go to the high school. We play. And I stayed the night at your house, man. This is it's mind-blowing to understand Jeremy here in Dallas. And I just got a chance to meet him 3-4 years ago. He's
Yeah.
been at Dallas for a long time.
Yeah.
That's Dane's oldest brother. I got a really good block against Dugan. I got to take credit for that.
Dugan still is a little bitter with Charlie. She claims Charlie gave him a hip pointer.
Hey,
Oh,
I might have. Hey, it was one
Might
of
have on
those.
that block. I don't
Hey,
know. I'll have to look at the replay.
love it. Hey, it was a steal. Dugan stole the ball.
Charlie pinned
I
it.
came half court, pinned him. Left-handed block, right-handed player, easy block. I mean, for
easy.
me at least,
No doubt.
easy
That's a
block,
heck of a
easy
play,
block.
though.
Yeah, no, but you just again the family history we have, and also your cousins, Todd Murray, Andrew Murray, your cousins. I trained your little cousins, so it's so funny. I'm in Dallas, and there's a Fife Charlie Miller connection.
Right.
That's just, but again, it's made me piece of who I am because of what I've been around and what I've saw.
Yeah. It was neat when Charlie walked in our gym. He looked like a player. And
Appreciate it,
you
man.
just did, man. You and then I was in what I remember about it, Charlie, was humble and the humility you had.
I appreciate it, man.
You know, Dugan was at that. I think Dugan's older than you.
Yeah, Dugan's 2 years. Yeah, 2 years.
But Jim, here comes this guy. Now understand something. We're a suburb of Detroit. We're kind of on the northern edge of this Detroit urban sprawl. All Caucasian. And Charlie comes in, and the town stopped, like in a good way, like because we were a basketball sports town, but it was like the town stopped for like 2 days. This kid, and you know what? You know what it was? It was this kid. This kid's being recruited by Indiana. I guess Indiana's offered him, and it was a unique experience for me because I just thought, man. And then you go to Indiana, and I just thought, this is Indiana. He just, why am I surprised? I'm not surprised. Right. How he acts, how he treats people. It was, it left quite it was just kind of like maybe the third tier there where Hoosiers, and then Indiana wins the national championship. And then Charlie Miller comes in and he's going to Indiana. It's like, he's larger than life. And so it was, but the impression you made on me, and I don't even mean to make it a love fest, but you went down this road, and it just, I think that's kind of to circle back to what Coach Woodson's about.
Yeah, man.
It's really what makes this program pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Obviously is the people, but I think more importantly, the values that they represent. And we're not perfect. Yeah. We're not. We make big mistakes, not life-changing mistakes, hopefully, but we make mistakes. But the values are still what we want, and it's our job as coaches to instill those, so they can pass it on.
Well, and you can hear that, and especially in the players we talk to, the parents we talk to, that is being reflected. And that's why I was going to ask, in coming back, and Mike Woodson's here, and at Hoosier Hysteria, you've got Isaiah Thomas, and seeing all three of you guys in candy stripes at the same time, that had to be a really cool thing for the fans, because most of the fans had never seen one of the three in that situation. But being a part of getting Indiana back to where it was, how you're doing it, that's got to be just a sweet reward in and of itself.
When Isaiah came back, we practiced in the morning of Hoosier Hysteria. It was a light practice, but Isaiah talked to the team. And I've got it on recording. I'll have to ask Isaiah. And we didn't have any film crews in there or anything. I just said, grabbed one of our managers. I said, record this. And Isaiah, I don't want to call it a speech because it was from the heart. It was unbelievable. And Kenya Hunter, one of the other assistants here, said it brought him to tears. And I was thinking the same thing. I mean, I had to kind of turn. It was just so powerful, just how he spoke to the team and what this program means to him and his relationship with Coach Woodson. And that's really, Charlie, what needs to happen a lot more, whether it's from Isaiah or
Yeah,
Charlie or
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I hear you.
these players, and I say this because I was able to recognize it at Michigan State. Um, it makes our job as coaches, selfishly, so much easier when
Yeah,
it doesn't. Isaiah obviously is Isaiah, but
yeah.
if Richard Mandeville comes back,
That's right. That's right.
he doesn't have to give that kind of speech, but just learn about these players. Let them know
That's
you
right.
give a damn,
That's
and
right.
that pushes. It's kind of an added wind. It's a strong, and it really is what sustains a program. When times are tough, and that's what when this job came open, I said, look, I want the job absolutely, but more importantly, it has to be a former player. And
Yeah.
I have my reasons, and we could talk all day about it. But there's plenty of good coaches out there that deserve to take a stab at this.
Yeah.
But
I hear
having
that.
former players, and to have more than one is amazing, because it's not just former players; it's different generations under different styles, which has to be a 2-for-1 for these players. And
Yeah.
then you've added a couple of guys, like I said, Coach Ya and Kenya, who are doing an incredible job, and obviously relating with these players as well in an incredible. It just seems like such a great mix of everything. You probably would not want 4 former players on the staff, so having a couple of guys who were not but are learning, and to see them get to feel what you guys are feeling, it has to be just exploding from the inside out.
It's funny. Coach Woodson hired one person. Let's say there's a staff of 10. Oh, he hired one person that he's met before. And, think about that. One person. I'd never met him. And none of us have. I mean, but he did his research. And, I guess in the NBA, sometimes you don't hire your own staff. So he's used to that, but that's not who he is. Like, that's not, I'm pointing over there to coach. He's that way. That's not who he is. And I don't know that anybody would be like that, but in college, I don't know about the pros, but in college, you have to have a staff that you can trust to make the right decisions and to have your back. I know probably the same in any business, but the recruiting aspect, and then the dealing with kids, but dealing with parents, you have to have that. He must have some type of what do they call it, an equation or algorithm to figure that out. But
Trust, man. Big
all he
trust.
really speaks about is to sum it up, is character. I mean, I want men or people working with me that have good character.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that
Well,
without doing your research.
well, for me, anybody that comes out to, I love it when you call him Big Papa. He has big trust. That's big. That's just big trust.
I don't think.
How-
I think they had to help him with that. He was
okay,
probably
good.
thinking of coming out to Luther Vandross.
I didn't know if that was. Yeah, I didn't know if that was. I didn't know if that was like New York led or something. Because I'm like, man, that's been. Was he around that rapper?
He takes a lot of crap from Jan Kenya.
Yeah.
These guys, they humble him every day with his clothing, his music, his goatee.
Yeah. How was
he's the coolest cat in the room, though. He's
smooth.
Always. He cracks me up. I've been fortunate to talk to him at Big Ten Media Days, and the genuineness, you just, there's nothing else other than that. It's just, that's who he is.
He probably learned from Clyde. What's his name from New York? The best player that Knicks ever had. Yeah, he probably learned from. He's around for a long time. Got a chance to meet him too. He's a smooth guy. How was the game this weekend, man? What you want? I mean, what I guess what you can't talk about. How was?
Yeah.
How was?
We can talk about.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. I tell you what. We made 11 for 11 free throws, which isn't a lot of free throws, but we've struggled in that area in the years past.
Okay.
We were last year we were a -3 rebounding like that. Like with Trace and Race, that's
right.
never happened.
Size wise,
Jordan
right.
Geronimo, Mike Durr, Logan Duncombe. We got some big, strong wings. It should never happen. And so, from the Izzo, I'm from the Izzo way of, and Coach
Bang
Knight
the boards,
Coach
right?
Knight wasn't much different. Like
Right.
You can't get out rebounded.
Right.
And really, I think where kids struggle, they don't put a lot of precedent in, is free throws. I mean, there's a lot of free throws nowadays, and games are tight. There's not high scoring. If you get above the 70s, you're pretty dang good. And the one thing I thought, so we shot well in the first half from three. We didn't shoot so well in the second half. We were 5 for 10 from three in the first half. I think 2 for 12 in the second half, but
might be 3, right? 3 for 12, something like that.
Yeah, still pretty good.
Yeah.
Or not pretty good. Still, what do the analytics say? Over 33% is good. We out rebounded them. Let's see what else. Turnovers. But they were just some things that we as coaches think we can fix just with a couple spacing issues. A lot of them. I think about 8. And then we're really putting an emphasis on screening. So we got some screening fouls, which is a good thing because we got to get Mr. Jackson Davis setting the screen, making, laying some wood on somebody a little more often.
Good. Okay, well, good.
He was
good. That's good. Good to hear. Good to hear.
Well, Dane, man, I don't want to keep you all morning. I know you have got a busy, busy day, but I cannot thank you enough for taking the time to come on. It is always a pleasure just to get to talk to you. And anytime you can come back just to talk, we don't have to talk hoops. We just love having you on because it's a blast having you and Charlie converse, man. And I know Charlie was looking forward to it. He didn't know about it because he had said that he hadn't got to talk to you.
Surprise, Charlie, you got me.
So, no, man, I love it, man. Man, you got to understand, man. You were a part of my heart, dude. I mean, I don't like to be soppy, dude, but like, hey, your dad, I mean, influenced me a great deal, man. So,
really,
it means a lot to me. Yeah, come on, man.
That's good to hear.
On, man. Yeah, that. Man. I mean, that's a big man. Listen, sorry, taking somebody in. I mean, who knows the arrangement that was talked about, discussed, but I thought that was a big deal for me. I still talk about to this day like it just happened yesterday. I'm always talking about.
So I'm like 2 generations removed from Coach Knight and my dad's era. So I like to say, like Izzo, like Judd and Knight, and
right,
we're one generation, and Izzo's the next generation, and now I'm behind that. But my dad was way ahead of his time in terms of that, the aspect of what you and I are talking about. He wasn't necessarily the psychologist, but he understood. He's the best I've seen. He's the best I've seen at getting the most out of kids without the football mentality of screaming, badgering somebody.
Right.
He's the best, and he yelled. He screamed at times, but he's the best I've seen still. And he just had a gift. He has a gift. So I appreciate you saying those things.
Yeah, man. Seriously, man. He's a developer. That's what you call me. It's what it is, right?
He put in the time with them, though, like you said.
That's right.
And their parents.
That's right.
Well, brother, we can't wait to have you back on during the season, like I said, just to talk and chat. And I look forward to seeing you out and about. And I hope the girls are having fun. I hope they had all kinds of fun last night. Make sure you separate the Reese's cups off to the side there. It's what I like to do with, well.
I do the Smarties.
Smarties. There you go. Smart man. But brother, I hope you have a great day. Cannot thank you enough. Like I said, really appreciate you, Dane.
Anytime, guys. Great to see you, Charlie.
Hey, man. Same here, Dane. Appreciate it, brother. Yes, sir.